Good morning. The Big Show's on the radio. Rolling through your Thursday morning. Time for Products for Good weekly update. And check out the Products for Good. Click on their link at thebigshow.com. I got a toll-free line. I'll give it here in just a couple of minutes. Let's welcome Lane in here with a special guest. We'll meet in just a second. Good morning, Lane.
Morning. How are you?
Good, man. Good. We missed a week last week with you out running around. There was you went back up for another treatment. Marked another one on the list. This was a second. This was different. Tell us about this.
It was. We actually took a veteran. Don't want to give away his name, but he took him a guy from Raleigh, North Carolina area, and he went up a few weeks ago and had really been struggling with PTSD, and we took him up, did the base treatment that we normally do, and he felt okay in the recovery room and didn't do well after that. Mm-hmm. So we haven't had too many that haven't done well, but he didn't. So. But he was a tough one to get moving. Brought he and his wife up last time so she could escort him and be there for the treatment. Mm-hmm. And she got real worried about him afterwards. So fortunately, we were able to talk him to coming back up again. And the doctor did that follow-up treatment, which we've talked about, where the base one is at the one place on the neck, and the follow-up one is a little bit higher up. Mm-hmm. And he's doing great.
So he is doing great.
It took about a day or so for it to kick in, and he is rocking.
Good.
So excited, can't believe it, and real breakthrough, and just tears from his wife. Nonstop.
That's great.
So,
and y'all supported us, man. That's
we definitely couldn't afford to send him back up there without the help from you. But I also want to bring Matt in here. This fellow, Matt Thomas, and I know you got a little background on him, John.
Matt Thomas, a Marine, 2 tours in Iraq. And he's showing me this. We're talking about what Matt has got going on, Reboot Combat Recovery. And I'm looking at a picture, your first class. Well, first, good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here, buddy.
Absolutely.
Good to have us Marine in here, my boy.
I'll paint the picture before you jump into that. Matt was 2 tours you mentioned in Iraq, and he came back with PTSD and connected with this program that we're going to talk about called Reboot, which is a group we're going to partner with our foundation along the way. But what Reboot does is they train you and help you get through your PTSD, and then you really pay it forward by going out and starting your own chapter. Mm-hmm. And what you're holding there is that first graduating class that Matt started.
And this was a graduating class just last Monday?
Yes, sir. Last Monday, April the 10th, we graduated. There was 24 of us total.
24. And I understand the 3 of those are going out to start their own?
Yeah, that was actually, I guess, Lane, I hadn't updated you. We have one more.
Wow.
So we're looking at Denver, Concord, Gastonia, and now Indian Land, Ballantyne.
Awesome, man.
That's great.
It's Denver, North Carolina, right? So it's but it's great. So it's really a pay it forward model where they're all volunteers and just trying to help people through with what they got. And tell us a little bit about the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a 12-week course, or Reboot Combat Recovery. It's a 12-week course centered around combat veterans and their families, helping them to equip them with the tools necessary to heal with in the struggle of the fight with combat trauma or post-traumatic stress, however you want to title it. So two goals, right? One is to initiate and equip them with the tools necessary for healing. But the other component of it, and probably the most important aspect, is the community that we build, right? So one thing that most, if not all, veterans can attest to is we come back and it's kind of a now what scenario. Who do I interact with? Where do I go? And with Reboot, it brings us together into a community of veterans, right? It's a veteran-led course led by peers. We're not affiliated with the hospital system or the VA or a church of any kind. Just a veteran-led community for veterans and their families.
Wow.
And it's very faith-based, right?
It is. Again, not centered around the church or any type of religious movement, but a lot of the principles that we cover, when we discuss healing around things like forgiveness and grief and dealing with some of the moral trauma or injuries that we may face from some of the experiences we might have had.
I would think it helps guys to know that other people have been where they are before.
Absolutely.
You don't feel it quite as isolated and alone.
Absolutely. I think that goes with any trauma. Somebody said of our course, this could be a life-healing course because it's not necessarily, it's the same principles and foundations of healing for anything. And so to your point, to come out, we get so isolated in our minds to think, well, I'm on this island, and to know that there's a community like Reboot out there, which was founded in 2011 by a couple of guys in their basement, and now we're almost at 50 courses across the United States.
That's awesome.
And to bottom line everything, guys, 1,500 participants, 0 veteran suicides.
Wow, man.
Cool.
Because that is an alarming statistic about the suicides.
Yes, it is.
Among our veterans.
And so, what we're excited about, as you know, we're a non-pharmacological answer to this question. So for us, we know we're helping the biological side, but there's still a mental component here that has to be addressed. And so we're very excited to be partnered with Reboot. Not just here, we really intend to use this program as the next step in our process all over the country. So we're excited about that.
Well, if y'all listening and you've never pulled a trigger on Products for Good, we wish you would right now, because we got a list, and now we're joining up with Reboot. Man, this is just awesome, the way it just has led us to other people and organizations. And, man, it's just an honor to meet you, my boy.
Thank you. Thanks for
thank
having
you
us.
for what you're doing for our veterans. And for our listeners, you can go to thebigshow.com, click on the Products for Good button, see everything we got laid out there. You can also call toll-free 877-444-4051. If you have questions, you want to talk, Lane is excellent at getting back with you.
And if you need to get connected to Reboot, just shoot us a note, and I'll run you right over to Matt.
Cool.
If that sounds good. So you can hook them up with Matt
doubt.
and Reboot Combat Recovery.
Yep.
Good stuff, Matt. Well, I hope we'll see you again real soon, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us,
tickled
guys.
about this partnership.
Absolutely.
Thank
we
you
are
very
too.
much.
Thank you.
Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you,
Lane.
All right.
Once again, 877-444-4051. Click on the Products for Good link at thebigshow.com.